Intro. They say if you sow a behavior, you reap a habit. Sow a habit, you reap a character. Sow a character, you reap a destiny. That's why even the smallest habit, if you repeat it long enough, can quietly shape your whole life. Not overnight, but over time. For me, it wasn't the big changes that lasted. It was the atomic habits, the small, unexciting things I could stick with, even on the messy days. If you're tired of trying harder and just want something that actually sticks, this might be a good place to start. In this video, I'm sharing 17 micro habits that helped me rebuild how I handle money, time, and stress. Set spending rules for repeat temptations. Most of us don't overspend on big, one-time purchases. We lose control on the little repeat buys. The $8 coffees, the random beauty orders, the just this once takeout. And when it's small and frequent, it doesn't feel like a problem until you realize where your money and energy is going. What helped me was setting one personal rule per category. For example, no delivery food unless it's a planned treat. One skincare product a month max. Or, I only buy clothes when something gets donated. These aren't punishments, they're just quiet boundaries that protect my time, space, and wallet. If something keeps draining you, even just a little, try writing one clear rule for it. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to stop the automatic yes that leaves you wondering where your money and time went. Spend less time with negative people. It's hard to change when the people around you don't want to. I used to feel stuck, not because I didn't care, but because everyone I talked to was always complaining or judging. If I said I was trying to save money, they'd joke about how boring that sounded. If I skipped a night out, they'd make it weird. Little by little, that made me question myself. I'd fall back into old habits just to avoid feeling left out. So I stopped sharing certain things with certain people. I gave myself space. I listened to voices that actually helped. Podcasts, books, even strangers on YouTube who were building the kind of life I wanted. You don't need to cut people off, but you do need to protect your headspace, because the people you listen to the most shape what you believe is possible. Keep a list of things you've done well. When you're low on confidence, your brain doesn't remember your wins. It replays everything that went wrong. That's why sometimes, even when we've made progress, we still feel stuck. What helped me change that was starting a file called I Can Do This. It's just a simple note in my phone where I write down things I've done that used to feel hard. The first time I told a friend no without guilt. The time I stuck to my budget even when it was tempting to cheat. Or a day I showed up to work when I really didn't feel like it. I even include small stuff, like cooking instead of ordering out when I was tired. They don't sound impressive on their own, but when you see them all together, they tell a different story. One that reminds you you're not someone who can't. You're someone who did. And the next time self-doubt shows up, that file becomes your receipt. Set up auto transfers to save money. Most people save whatever's left after spending. That's why they rarely save anything. What changed everything for me was flipping the order. I set up 2 automatic transfers every month, one to savings, one to investments, and they go out the day my paycheck hits. That way, I never have to think about it. I don't wait to see what's left over. I protect those amounts like they're bills. It sounds simple, but it solves 2 big problems. 1. I no longer forget to save when life gets busy. 2. I avoid impulse spending because that money's already gone. You can start small, even $50 a month. The point isn't how much, it's the habit. Once it's automatic, it removes the daily decision-making that wears you down. Set it up once. Let it run quietly in the background. It's one of the only habits that builds your future without taking more of your time. Track spending in 3 simple categories. If money feels chaotic, it's probably because you're trying to track it in too many directions. or not tracking it at all. I used to feel like I was spending not that much, but still had no idea where the money actually went. What helped was breaking everything into just 3 buckets: essentials, enjoyment, and future. That means what I have to spend, like rent, groceries; what I want to spend, like dinners out, books; and what I hope to build, like savings, courses, or investments. Once a week, I take 5 minutes to check where most of it is going. If I see the fun bucket overflowing, but the future one's empty, it's a quiet nudge to adjust, without guilt, just awareness. No complicated budgets, no spreadsheets, just a basic snapshot that helps me stay clear on what I value and spend accordingly. Make before you scroll. I used to save every video that said, "Do this one thing to change your life." I had folders of tips, screenshots of routines, apps I never opened. I wasn't lazy, I was just overloaded. The more I consumed, the more I felt like I should already be doing better, which made it even harder to start. What helped me break that cycle was this: before I scroll, I have to make something first, even if it's just 5 minutes. Writing out what I spent today, drafting a grocery list that fits my actual week, typing 1 paragraph of a journal entry, even if it's messy. The rule is simple: if I have time to take in content, I have time to put something out. It doesn't need to be perfect or public. It just needs to come from me. That tiny shift from passive to active made everything else feel more doable again. Say no without feeling guilty. Most of us don't say yes because we want to. We say it because we feel guilty if we don't. I used to agree to things that drained me: favors I didn't have time for, social plans I didn't want, extra work when I was already tired. Not because I had the energy, but because I didn't know how to say no without feeling selfish. What helped me stop was this: I got painfully clear on what mattered most to me that season, just 1 or 2 priorities. Then, whenever something new came up, I asked, does this move me closer to that or pull me away? Saying no got easier, not because I became colder, but because I finally knew what I was protecting. Save quiet time for yourself each week. For years, I used to think investing in yourself meant paying for another course or chasing another certification. And sometimes it does. But for me, the real shift came when I stopped filling every hour and started leaving space to actually absorb, process, and change. Now, I block 1 quiet evening a week. No chores, no screens. Just time to think, reflect, or follow a curiosity. Sometimes I read. Sometimes I journal. Sometimes I just let myself sit with something uncomfortable I've been avoiding. It's not glamorous, and no one claps for it. But that space? It's where I've made some of my best decisions. So if you're feeling stuck or behind, maybe don't rush to do more. Try carving out just 1 pocket of time each week that's meant purely for you. Not for output, not for anyone else. Just you. Learning, resetting, growing on your own terms. Start a small side income. Depending on 1 income stream used to feel normal, until I realized how fragile it made everything. 1 missed paycheck, 1 layoff, 1 health issue. And suddenly, the whole system breaks. I didn't build 5 income streams overnight. I started by taking 1 skill I already had, writing, and offering it as a service on the side. It was messy at first, and slow. But over time, that extra income gave me room to breathe. Then I added 1 more, and 1 more. Now I don't rely on just 1 source to feel secure, and I don't panic every time something shifts. If you're stretched thin already, don't aim for 5 things. Just start by asking, what's 1 thing I'm good at that someone else might need? Build from there. 1 quiet stream at a time. Write down 1 thing you're grateful for. I used to think gratitude journaling was a little bit cheesy, until I came across Dr. Svea Godkin's work, and she really highlights that the secret to happiness begins with gratitude. So, I started keeping a gratitude journal. At 8 p.m. every evening, I get a notification from my Day One app. And I love using my phone for this, because whenever the notification pops up, I can just quickly add an entry. Then I pick a photo that I've taken that day, or I take one at that moment, and I write the day's highlights and what I'm grateful for. It could be something as simple as getting the perfect coffee, or a thoughtful message from a friend, or making it to a workout. What I've learned is that your mind attracts what you focus on. When you actively look for good things, that's when life starts to shift. Instead of overthinking what went wrong, I'm always trying to notice the little things that went right. So if you want to try it, set a 5-minute evening reminder and just jot down one thing from your day that you're grateful for. If you're like me and prefer digital over paper, I highly recommend trying out the Day One app. Make daily decisions easier. Most of us don't realize how many micro decisions we make before 9 a.m. What to wear, what to eat, when to leave, whether we have time to pack lunch. It adds up, and it chips away at your ability to focus on the things that actually matter. That's why I simplified anything I could, especially the stuff that doesn't deserve energy. For example, I narrowed my weekday wardrobe down to 5 mix and match outfits. It sounds boring, but it saved me time, stress, and at least one morning meltdown. Decision fatigue is real. So if something in your routine always feels harder than it should, streamline it. Prep your work lunch the night before. Keep your skincare down to 3 steps. Stick a grocery list template on your fridge. The less time you waste choosing, the more space you free up for creating, resting, or just breathing. Stop explaining yourself to others. You don't owe anyone a full explanation for why you changed your mind, said no, or chose a different path, especially if you're the one living with the outcome. I used to spend so much energy softening every no with a long excuse, or making sure people understood the backstory before I did something differently. Now, I check in with myself. If something feels right, I let that be enough. Other people don't have to agree for your choice to be valid. Let it be quiet. Let them wonder. Stop adding just one more thing. If you're constantly adding one more thing, one more backup item, one more round of edits, one more hour just to feel productive, you're probably overcompensating. At some point, I realized I could stop at almost enough. Not because I'm lazy, but because the last 10% was costing me too much energy for too little return. So now, I leave a little undone. I stop right before I burn out. I leave white space in the day so I don't resent the next one. That small pause, it's what helps me come back with clarity instead of resistance. Keep going, even slowly. None of this needs to be perfect. You don't need to master everything at once. You just need to keep going. One habit at a time, one small change that feels doable, then another, and another. That's how traction builds. Quietly, gradually, but consistently. The goal isn't to prove you're productive. The goal is to feel like your life is actually working. Stop worrying what others think. Caring what people think is exhausting, especially when you're already overwhelmed by your own expectations. I used to second-guess everything. What I wore, what I posted, even what I wanted. And most of the time, the people I was trying to please weren't even part of my actual life. One thing helped me shift, asking myself, is this person living a life I would want? If the answer was no, their opinion didn't need to take up space in my head. It sounds simple, but that one filter gave me permission to move differently, to dress the way I liked, to work on goals that felt right for me, even if they didn't make sense to someone else. We all have voices in our heads. Not all of them deserve the mic. Outro most of the time. It's not big plans that change your life. It's small habits that make space for better days. If this video helped you feel a little lighter, feel free to like or subscribe. It really supports the channel.